Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe, we're going to be showing you how to install the CURT Trailer Hitch Receiver. Before we get into that though, let's just take a couple of minutes, check this out, and make sure it's going to be right for you. Putting a trailer hitch on a Jeep just makes sense. You know, it looks right at home. People use these vehicles to do a ton of different things. So whether you're wanting to pull a trailer around or use accessories like a bike rack or a cargo carrier, this one's going to open up your opportunities to do so and let you get the job done. To compare this hitch to some of the other ones, there's an etrailer.com one available that's pretty much identical to this. Really the only difference is going to be the finish. As a matte black carbide finish, it seems to hold up a little bit better, and I like the appearance of it. Kind of matches the plastic on her bumper, blends in a little bit more. But with this being a class 3 hitch, it is going to have the 2" by 2" receiver tube opening. Super common size, so a ton of different things are going to work with it. It is going to use the standard 5/8 pin and clip. One doesn't come included with the hitch. If you need one, not really a big deal. Grab it here at eTrailer, or a lot of times too, if you end up buying a new accessory, they'll come with one. So just something to think about. Safety chain openings are going to be a plate style. Fairly easy to get to and large enough to allow us to use just about any size hook that our trailer might have on it. As far as hitch's weight capacities go, it's going to have some good numbers. Maximum gross tongue weight rating will be 350 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. So that'll be good for those 1 to 4 bike racks. Just kind of give you an example. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 3,500 pounds. That's the amount of weight pulling on the hitch. So the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have in or on it. This can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. And what happens when you use that, it's going to help keep your Jeep and your trailer level whenever you're towing it down the road. So pretty popular on larger campers and enclosed trailers, things of that nature. So that's what you're doing, might be worth looking into. With that said, the weight capacities will increase a little bit if you use a weight distribution. The tongue weight rating will go up to 400, and the gross trailer weight rating will increase to 4,000. With all that said though, I do always like to suggest, never a bad idea, grab your Jeep's owner's manual, check in there and make sure that it can handle that much weight safely. Now we can grab a couple of measurements, and these will just help you get a better idea on what style and type of accessories will work best. Keep in mind though, these measurements can change. You know, with these Jeeps being so popular, you're doing lift kits and bigger tires and different submodels and everything. So just something to think about. In our case, we have a Rubicon, and our tire size is 85 by 70 to 17. And what we'll do first is go from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube. That's going to be about 21 inches. So if you're going to be using a ball mount, you know, one in that 4 to 6 inch range would probably work for most people, one that drops down. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the bumper, that's going to be about 3 inches. And from the hitch pin hole to the edge of our tire, I'd say that's going to be about 9 inches. And you can use that to help figure out if any of those folding style accessories you might have can be stored upright without hitting the back of your Jeep. So when it comes down to it, good all-around hitch. You know, it's going to look good and let you get the job done, whether you're trying to tow or use some accessories. As far as the installation goes, these are really straightforward. Essentially, there's already holes in the beam here that runs across. You might have a couple of bolts you need to pull out, but essentially hold it right up and bolt it down. So really shouldn't run into too many issues, but if you'd like to hang around, we'll go ahead, pull into the garage, and get started on it now. To begin our installation, we're going to be underneath the back of our Jeep, and along this beam here on the front side, there's going to be a couple of bolts that we need to remove. So here's the 2 bolts I was talking about, and some Jeeps aren't going to have these. The majority of them that I've seen do, but if yours does not, you'll just have empty holes there, and you don't need to worry about doing this part. But since ours do, we'll get them removed, and we're going to hold on to them as well because we will reuse them to secure the hitch. That said, take an 18 millimeter. just to go over our attachment points real quick, there's going to be a total of 4. So you'll have this one, these 2 in the middle, and then this one here on the outside. In our case, the 2 outside ones, we'll reuse those factory bolts. For the inside ones, we're going to take this bolt, a flat washer. When the hitch is up, you're going to run that through, and where it comes out on the back side, you'll use a flange nut. If you didn't have them original bolts, we'll just use 2 more of these, which are included. Since we did have those original bolts on the back side here, there's going to be this little plate. And when we go to put the hitch up, you're going to want the hitch to sit in between this beam and the plate like that. So when you're lifting this up, you might have to take a screwdriver or something and just kind of pry on it to get it to sneak in there. Go ahead, take our hitch and work it into position. When you're holding this up, what I like to do is just take the bolts in the middle and push them through just to kind of hold our hitch into position while we work on the rest of the hardware. Just kind of a quick pointer, since the bolts that we put in the middle or the center, on the back side where we put the flange nuts, it's pretty tight. One thing you can do is take a 3/4 inch wrench, the open end like this, put that nut through there, and then I just take some packing tape, kind of tape it on there. That way we can kind of hold this up as one deal and make it a little bit easier to get started. That's what I was talking about here. Could be tricky to get your fingers up there, so this is exactly why I tape the nut to the wrench. And once you get it started, you just pull it right off. So I'll do the same thing for our last remaining bolt. At this point, with all the hardware in place, we can snug them all up. So just got our 18 millimeter here for the factory style bolts, and then for the new ones, you can use your 3/4 inch wrenches to hold the nut from spinning, and 3/4 inch to tighten the head of it down. At this point, you need to make sure and come back with a torque wrench and tighten down all the hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. And that will finish up our look at and our installation of the CURT Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe.